Welcome to today's explainer. We are jumping right into a seriously intricate spiritual cosmology today. We're going to objectively map out some massive concepts: existence, time, and the very structure of the universe, moving step by step from the visible world right into the invisible. Let's get into it. Our source material for this deep dive is The Laws of the Sun by Ryuho Okawa. Specifically, we're unpacking the core philosophical framework from Chapter 1, which is titled The Time the Sun Rises. Now, regardless of where you stand personally on spiritual matters, the architecture of the universe laid out in this text is just structurally fascinating. We're going to act as an impartial guide and break down exactly how this worldview operates. Here is our roadmap for the explainer. First, the sun of Buddhist truth. Second, what is Buddha? Third, the law of existence and time. Fourth, from finite to infinite. And finally, number 5, the multidimensional universe structure. Starting right off with Section 1, the sun of Buddha's truth. To really grasp this cosmology, we have to start with what Buddhist truth actually means here. The text defines it as a golden thread that weaves its way through humanity's past, present, and future. It's described beautifully as this protective fabric, woven by the divine, to basically wrap around the human heart and shield it from cold materialistic thinking. The book posits this truth as an ever-present light. It's like a sun. And just like our actual sun, even when it gets hidden behind the dark clouds of history, it literally never stops shining its light on humanity. Now, what's especially compelling are the prophecies laid out in the text. The author argues that humanity is currently totally parched, just thirsting for light. And to shatter this massive fortress of illusions that we've relentlessly built up over time, the book claims a new sun of truth is destined to rise. Fascinatingly, the source frames Japan as the absolute focal point, the epicenter for this emerging spiritual framework to eventually spread across the globe. Moving smoothly along to Section 2. What is Buddha? So the text strictly rejects the materialistic idea that life just ends as ash and bone. But if the divine is real, how do we actually perceive it? Well, according to the book, Buddha isn't just some abstract theory floating high up in the sky. Clues to finding the nature of Buddha are actually scattered everywhere in our daily, messy lives. You catch glimpses of this truth in highly specific human experiences. Think about the profound moment of birth, the inevitable time of death, the deep struggles of illness, the passionate encounters of romance, and even during periods of severe setback. The idea is that the divine reveals itself through the actual texture of human experience. That brings us to Section 3, the law of existence and time. Let's look at the physical rules governing our world. The text outlines the inescapable rule of the three-dimensional world, calling it the law of flux and flow. Everything on Earth is governed by 4 inevitable stages. First, birth. Then, growth. Following that, decline. And finally, extinction or dissolution. The text emphasizes that every physical thing is constantly, moment by moment, undergoing change dictated by this exact sequence. Yet it also argues that behind this constant flux lies a much deeper, unchanging universal reality, which really echoes the traditional Buddhist concept that form is emptiness and emptiness is form. What's really striking here is the sheer scope of the examples the author uses. Obviously, this applies to a human being, right? We're born, we grow up, we age, and we pass away. But the text says it applies equally to something artificial, like a manufactured car. A car is produced, it's driven for a while, it starts to break down, and eventually it gets scrapped. It's the exact same life cycle as a tiny seed that sprouts, blooms, and withers. Whether it's natural or totally artificial, absolutely nothing in the 3D world escapes this physical cycle. All right, let's zoom out a bit for Section 4, from finite to infinite. Here we transition from earthly limits to the metaphysical. The author draws a really stark contrast between 2 worldviews. On one side, you have the materialist view, which believes only what the 5 senses can grasp is real, meaning life is finite. The author critiques this using a wildly memorable metaphor. A materialist is like a turtle endlessly circling a tiny, finite island, completely oblivious to the vast, boundless ocean surrounding it. On the flip side, the spiritual view argues our true home isn't this 3D world at all. It claims humans possess eternal life, undergoing repeated reincarnation for spiritual training. In this view, the physical world is just a temporary classroom. And that leads us to our 5th and final section, the multidimensional universe structure. If our true home isn't the 3D world, where is it?
To get our heads around this, the author starts with some basic geometry. The text compares a 2D world to a flat flounderfish. A 2D world only has length and width. It's strictly a surface. So a resident there would be like a perfectly flat flounder with zero thickness. By realizing how a 2D entity literally cannot comprehend the height of a 3D world, we can start to imagine how we, stuck in 3D, really struggle to perceive the added dimensions of the universe.
So let's look at the cosmic cheat sheet. The fundamental rule here is that higher dimensions completely envelop lower dimensions, adding new elements at each level. The 3D phenomenal realm is matter, length, width, height. 4D adds time. The 5th dimension, the realm of goodness, adds spirit. The 6th dimension, the realm of light, adds truth, knowledge. To make this super accessible, the text uses this brilliant clothing metaphor. Think of the 3D world as a bare physical body. The 4th dimension is the underwear covering that body. The 5th dimension is a shirt over the underwear. The 6th dimension is a sweater over the shirt. Every higher dimension perfectly seamlessly wraps around the one beneath it. And actually, the author expands this metaphor even further to outline a massively structured cosmic architecture. If the 6th dimension is a sweater, the 7th dimension is a suit jacket worn right over it. The 8th dimension is a thick overcoat encompassing the whole body. And the 9th dimension? That's like a hat placed on top of the whole ensemble. The takeaway is that the universe isn't some chaotic, random void. It's a perfectly harmonized, layered structure. To really visualize life in these higher realms, let's zoom back in on the 4th dimension, the astral realm. Unlike our 3D world, time here is fluid. It's totally unfixed. Because of this, the text drops a wild detail. People from completely different historical centuries, like, say, someone from the Kamakura period and someone from the Showa era, could theoretically stand in the exact same space and shake hands. No time travel required. Plus, in this realm, your thoughts and illusions aren't just invisible concepts in your head anymore. They have a tangible reality. They have actual texture. So we've journeyed from the strict physical laws of earthly existence all the way up through a highly organized, 9-dimensional cosmic architecture. The text confidently asserts that our true origins lie out there in these higher dimensions, and that this 3D world is merely a temporary training ground. So I want to leave you with a pretty massive question to chew on. If our true home is indeed this multidimensional universe, based on your thoughts, your spirit, and your pursuit of knowledge right now, which dimension's clothing do you think your current mindset aligns with? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the universe around you.